All right, fellow adventurers. If the thumbnail text "Adventure Awaits" caught your eye, and you're wondering where to find a sailing experience like no other, you're absolutely in the right place. Welcome aboard to discover Turkey, your yacht adventure. This isn't just another travelogue, it's your ultimate in-depth guide to chartering a yacht and navigating the spectacularly stunning Turkish coast. We're not just skimming the surface here, folks. We're diving deep into an epic sailing journey that's going to challenge you, inspire you, and frankly, probably leave you wanting to quit your day job. I'm your host, your guide, and maybe a tiny bit your sailing conscience, and I'm not only going to share the best-kept secrets of sailing the Turkish Aegean, I'm also going to throw in a bonus section on how to really immerse yourself in local Turkish culture and cuisine. Because let's face it, a true adventure isn't just about the sailboat, it's about the people you meet, the places you see, and, of course, the ridiculously amazing food you get to try. It's about sailing smarter and experiencing the world deeper, and I'm genuinely thrilled to share everything I've learned, often the hard way, with you. Now, before we even think about unfurling a single sail, let me paint a picture for you. Turkey is not just about the sun-soaked, overcrowded beaches and the ancient ruins you see in all the postcards, although it has those in spades, trust me. It's a wonderfully intricate tapestry woven with threads of breathtaking landscapes that look like they've been ripped straight from a high-definition nature documentary. Hidden coves that whisper secrets only the wind knows, bustling marinas that buzz with the energy of 1,000 stories, and a cuisine that will make your taste buds sing, or maybe belly dance if they're feeling particularly adventurous. It's a sensory overload of the best kind, and it's about time we all experienced it. But where do we even begin? Where do you drop anchor without, actually dropping it and breaking your sailboat? Well, the very first step on any sailing trip is to have some knowledge of where to drop anchor without actually dropping it in the wrong place. And I'm not talking about the kind of anchor you use for your garden shed either. I'm talking about real, proper, sailor-approved anchorages. For the smoothest sailing and to avoid any nautical nightmares, we're going to zoom in on some of Turkey's absolute best safe anchorages and marinas. Prepare your senses. Picture this: Fethiye, with its incredible collection of sheltered bays that look like they were designed by a particularly creative god, and a vibrant harbor that's just bursting at the seams with life. It's the perfect starting point for any Turkish sailing adventure, and it has a wonderfully colorful bazaar where you can easily spend a whole morning getting wonderfully lost. We'll then smoothly sail on to Gocek, with its upscale marinas that have the same sleek charm as a Bond villain's lair, and a scenery that's so ridiculously photogenic it's almost unfair. The water is so clear that you almost feel like you are sailing through air. And we simply can't forget Kaz, a charming little coastal town with a plethora of lovely, idyllic anchorages nearby that are each more beautiful than the last. It's a sailor's dream, a place where you can truly disconnect from the world and reconnect with the ocean. It's the kind of place where you can easily find yourself spending hours just watching the sunset, with a glass of wine in your hand, contemplating life. Seriously though, that's a good way to spend an evening. This whole section, by the way, has been lovingly brought to you by the letter A for anchor, obviously, and also maybe awesome, because it is. But where, you might ask, do we go from there? What routes are going to provide the right level of adventure, and where are the best anchorages? Well, this is where I break out my secret weapon, map! I'm not kidding. It's actually an old treasure map from a pirate joke, but it's just as effective. Let's chart a course for an unforgettable 7-day sailing adventure, shall we? Our sample itinerary is not just about getting from point A to point B, it's about creating a rhythmic flow that gives you the absolute best of what the area has to offer. It's like a perfectly composed symphony, with each anchorage and town being a different instrument. We'll start in the bustling port of Fethiye, taking a day or two to get acquainted with its vibrant atmosphere. Then, we'll gracefully sail to the utterly beautiful, almost unbelievable coves around Oludeniz, where the turquoise water is so clear it will make your jaw drop, and maybe even leave you wondering if you've actually stepped into a postcard. From there, we'll cruise on to the laid-back, charming vibes of Kalkan and Kaz, with their quaint harbors and ridiculously friendly locals, before eventually returning to Fethiye like a perfect circle of nautical bliss. I'll make sure to point out the very best anchorages where you can drop anchor, sleep peacefully under a blanket of stars, and maybe even pretend to be a modern-day pirate, minus the looting, of course. Although, finding that secret cove will make you feel like you've discovered real treasure, and I'll also be sure to highlight the best marinas. The ones that will provide you with a proper shower, a place to restock on supplies, and where you can enjoy a well-deserved captain's dinner at one of the local restaurants. They're quite simply outstanding. Make sure you keep a very keen eye out for those restaurants. The local food is some of the very best in the world, and this is not an opinion, it's a fact. By the way, if you are into sailing adventures, or any adventures really, be sure to check out my Sailing Adventures playlist. There is more stuff just like this to explore, right here on the channel. Now that we've got your route all expertly sorted and you know where you are going, let's get down to brass tacks, or should I say, sailing tacks. Whether you are a seasoned salt or someone who gets seasick just thinking about a bathtub, I'm going to run through some essential basic sailing techniques that are specifically designed for the conditions that you might expect in Turkey. I'm not going to show you anything incredibly difficult. I'm not going to show you how to do a complicated jibing maneuver that even the best racers sometimes get wrong and end up in the water. No, I'm talking the basic essential stuff. How to properly and securely set an anchor so you don't wake up halfway to grease. How to get a good night's sleep on anchor, which is more an art than a skill. I'll also give you some essential tips for trimming your sails to make the absolute most of the constant and predictable, but at times surprisingly strong winds in the area. This means that you get to your next destination without having to fire up that diesel engine. And of course, essential navigation, including the vital skill of not running aground, because let's be frank, that's never a fun way to start or end a vacation. It's also never a fun way to explain it to the charter company, by the way. I've got a couple of tips from experience. And what would any epic adventure be without a little bit of, shall we say, mild catastrophe? Or what we can perhaps call a learning opportunity. I'm sure you'd much rather learn from my mistakes, rather than making them yourself, right? I mean, nobody ever sets off on a sailing vacation intending to crash their boat. Well, most people anyway, and certainly not me. So let me give you a good heads-up on some of the most common navigation mistakes people make when they are in the area. This is not for the purpose of making fun of other people, mostly. Here's the top secret stuff, so pay attention. In certain places around Turkey, the wind can pick up suddenly, and with very little warning, so always double, triple, quadruple check the forecast, and not just for today, but also for the following couple of days. And many of the most beautiful coves tend to get extremely crowded, especially in the middle of the summer and in the middle of the day, so if you don't get there early, you might have to fight it out like a gladiator to get a decent space. Nobody needs that level of stress when they are supposed to be relaxing. Also, and this is something people commonly forget about, be aware of the shallow water depths in certain areas, especially near the coast. Nothing spoils a good day more than a beautiful, expensive sailing yacht with its keel firmly embedded in the sand. It's not a good look, and it's very difficult to explain to the charter company. Let's just say that I may have a tiny bit of personal experience of this, but it's a long, slightly embarrassing story for another time. All right, now for the real treat. The part of the show that I've been looking forward to and that I'm pretty sure you will enjoy as well. Remember how we promised a very special bonus section on immersing yourself in local Turkish culture and cuisine? Well, my friends, it's time to get off that boat for a little while and do some exploring. You have to do it. This isn't just about seeing ancient ruins or lazing on the beach, which are all totally worthwhile too, by the way. This is about making connections, experiencing the real Turkey, and engaging authentically with the place and the people. This is a hugely important part of your trip, and it's essential to the overall enjoyment and fulfillment of your travels, and it really shouldn't be missed or avoided. I'm not talking about those tourist traps near the main ports that sell overpriced souvenirs, because who really needs another fridge magnet anyway? Instead, look for small local restaurants that are tucked away in the back streets of the town or maybe located outside the main tourist areas. These hidden gems are often family-run and serve some of the most delicious, authentic Turkish cuisine that you're likely to find. Try to learn a few basic Turkish phrases, even if it's just a simple merhaba, hello, and teşekkür ederim, thank you, as a little bit of effort can go a very long way and can make a huge difference to how your interactions with the locals are received. Go to the local markets that are away from the main tourist traps and try some of the local food, and try to avoid the places that are geared up for the tourists, as you'll generally find that the food in the back streets is better and a lot less expensive. You might find that the food in Turkey is absolutely and utterly outstanding. From the freshest fish pulled straight off the boats to the truly wonderful Turkish delight, your taste buds will go crazy. Don't forget to try the local pide or gazlım. They're absolutely fantastic. This is where you really get to connect with the locals, understand their culture on a deeper level, and create memories that go far beyond just sailing the beautiful coast. It's the experiences that stay with you the longest. So, let's recap, and let's think about what we've achieved in just the last 15 minutes. We've charted a course through one of the most beautiful sailing locations in the world, learned some essential sailing techniques that are bound to keep you safe and mostly dry, and we've managed to dodge a few potential nautical disasters. And perhaps most importantly, we've also talked about some utterly fantastic local food and how you can experience the real Turkey. Now you're armed with all of the essential knowledge and hopefully the inspiration to plan your own truly epic sailing adventure along the stunning coast of Turkey. Remember, sailing is not just about getting from point A to point B, it's about the journey. It's a way to grow as a person, to connect with the world, and to embrace the unexpected challenges that are thrown your way. And of course, it's about that occasional but inevitable moment when you spill coffee down your front and laugh about it. But hold on a second, because your adventure is definitely not over yet. You've started your incredible journey with this video, but you now need to continue the adventure and continue to dream. If you want to go even further and start thinking about even more locations, my next video, and the video that you simply have to watch, is titled Amalfi Adventure, Your Dream Itinerary. And in it, we'll be exploring the simply breathtaking, stunning Italian coast. I mean, when I say that the views are epic, I mean it. It's going to be another unforgettable trip, full of beauty, excitement, and of course, adventure. So make sure to click the link in the description below, or on the end screen, and keep sailing the world with me. And while you're at it, don't forget to check out the Sailing Adventures playlist that has other videos like this to watch, and will give you even more inspiration for your future sailing adventures. Until next time, my friends, keep your sails trimmed, keep exploring the world, and keep your spirit as high as you can, no matter what.